For any community to prosper and realize its aspirations, it needs a system that can help it to govern itself and to create some order. Because of this, different communities came up with different structures of governance. A political song talks about the way a people govern themselves and also the way this governance can change within time. So there are so many issues that these political songs talk about.
Bila kujali singi yao ya kisiasa, bila kujali singi yao ya kisiasa, kwe shambani manyayo na zilimwe sana uru wangamize.
It is very important to note that political songs did not start with the colonial period or the post-colonial period. Political songs in the African situation predated the colonial period. This is because even before the colonialists came, we had songs that talked about our systems of governance that were in place. Political songs played very many roles. First and foremost, political songs were supposed to be used to praise good leadership. We had to praise these kind of virtues so that other people could follow suit. Political songs also were used to check these leaders, to make sure that they were doing the right thing. And if they were not doing the right thing, then we needed to confront them. Depending on the situation, we could create a poem that criticized a leader directly, or we had to do it indirectly if the prevailing circumstances were not very favorable. This is the reason why in any dictatorial situation, you find that the artists are always the first ones to be jailed, because art is so powerful. Once you can remove the artist from the equation, it means that the people might not have a very creative avenue to talk about the current situations. Some of these political songs actually express somebody's love for their state, their village, their community. These ones can be called patriotic songs. And the most obvious examples of patriotic songs currently are the national anthems. You will find that in these national anthems we express our love for our countries. A very important angle that we can see in these national anthems especially is the religious or spiritual angle. We find that someone can express their love for their country but say that this land has been ordained by God, or we are praying that God blesses us. This is very important because it brings some kind of sanctity to the whole affair and also points to one of the roles of leaders traditionally, which was to connect us with the higher powers. One of the most important uses of political songs in recent memory has been to agitate for change, to create a revolution. Political songs have been a driving force in the fight for freedom worldwide. You found slaves using them to talk about their status and their aspirations and their dreams. You've seen people that have been colonized using songs and oral poems to fight for their freedom. One of the most beautifully documented situations has been South Africa during apartheid. And this is seen in this documentary called Amandla, A Revolution in 4-Part Harmony. You can find it on Netflix. This documentary is so well done. It actually chronicles the way songs and oral poems were used by South Africans to fight racial segregation. It is so powerful, and we realize that these songs actually change depending on the phase of the struggle. When the struggle starts without violence, most of these songs are going to be preaching peace. But when the struggle changes towards now people saying that we need to take up arms, the songs now become more violent in some way. So depending on the phase of the struggle, we're going to have different songs. As I hinted earlier, these songs did not just begin with the colonial period. These songs predate the colonial situation in Africa. And an interesting thing is that some of the structures that we had then still exist now. We can still see that in the Buganda kingdom, the kingdom of the Baganda from Uganda, we still have their Kabaka, their king. Between 1967 and 1993, this kingdom, this monarchy was abolished, but it was reinstated in 1993, and we still have it now officially recognized. In the Luo community of Kenya, we have the Council of Elders headed by a tribal chief called Ker. It is a very ceremonial kind of office, but it still exists. In Botswana, we have tribal chiefs. Their offices are actually officially recognized by the government. And this is very important because you need leaders who will preserve the culture. The Ameru people of Kenya also still have their Council of Elders. And this is very important because it is kind of a way to make sure that this community actually still preserve the tenets of their cultures. What does this tell us? It tells us that the political songs we sing now actually have their roots from those kind of times. And so when people go on the streets and they go demonstrating about the price of commodities, this is just a remnant of what we used to do before, criticizing leaders and making sure that our leadership works for the people and the good leaders are actually praised.